right, hey everybody, how's it going? If you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at the KZZI K75 Lite mechanical keyboard. It's going to be fantastic. They sent it over. They wanted me to check it out, see how it sounds, how it uses, how it plays. I'll be looking at all that, including their software in today's video and review. So guys, if you're looking into that, feel free to sit back, relax, and let's hop straight into it. All right, and here we go. The KZZI K75 Lite mechanical keyboard. We do have a little quote here on the bottom. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So if you keep on going, you'll just keep on passing. But we get a little bit of the logo and information on the back. Here on the side, we do have the information, which does show we have the tri-mode, range switches, and all the extra details. If you want to scan the barcode, you can. Now, before we get into it, let's go ahead and check out the tech specs for it so we can see just what the keyboard itself is going to be boasting. We do have a gasket structure in the keyboard itself with gasket mounts. We do have 5 layers of sound-absorbing material, foam inside of it to help dampen the reverberation inside of the case. We do have hot swappable switches, which are the MX 3-pin or 5-pin, are the compatibility switches for this keyboard. You do have per key RGB, which, by the way, is south-facing. So if you're looking at keycaps to put on this thing or different switches, do note that it is south-facing, and if you're wanting it to look a specific way, just note that that may make a difference. So you want to have side-printed, which are my favorite, which we'll be seeing here in this video. But do take note that the Sakura Pink version is equipped with north-facing RGBs. So that is a specific difference, so keep an eye on that if you're going to be getting those. It does have 3 modes of connectivity. You have Bluetooth, wired, and USB 2.4 wireless. It is supposed to support Windows, Mac, and Android, so that'll probably have iOS inside of there as well for using the keyboard with the Bluetooth mode. Linux is a possibility. The keyboard itself will work, but the software, your mileage may vary. You do have compatibility layers for Windows, such as Wine and Linux, but you may have to try that out. I cannot guarantee you that it will work. Also to note that with the Sakura Pink, the keycaps can be printed with specific characters and patterns for Mac itself. So just note that you can also get that as an available option with the Sakura Pink. The battery capacity is supposed to be 3750 on the milliamp hours, 3750. They do say you can get 20 days of the RGB off and 5 days of the RGB on. So that's at least a solid 30 hours as their prediction on that for your time. But they also say that is with 6 hours per day of uninterrupted use. So again, depending on how much you use it, your mileage may vary, but that's what they have tested and what they have boasted for the battery itself. Lastly, we do have the MDA for the keycaps themselves. The switches are factory lubed, and of course that has a battery checker, which I love that these are starting to become more common on keyboards. You press FN and enter, and it shows on the keyboard your battery percentage with the LEDs. So that is cool, and that is something nice to have built in. And if you guys are enjoying this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be a part of all the tech fun that we're going to be having. We have a lot of products that we do get sent over. Some of them I do find at a bin store that I can rummage through, find all the goodies, and get some nice tech on the cheapy cheap to be able to show you some stuff that may not have otherwise been sent over. But you do have to note that the packaging usually is somewhat destroyed, but that's all the fun of the searching for all the products. So do check it out, stay tuned, and be subscribed for that. But let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. All right, let's go ahead and pull this tab and get this guy out of the box. We do have a giant manual on top. We've seen that with some other keyboard brands recently. I love that those are becoming more common. They're a lot easier to read. Let's go ahead and get the keyboard out of the way so we can get down to the goodies. Underneath here, we do have some extra of those purple rain switches, just in case you have one of them go out on you. Do have a standard USB-C to USB-A cable, and then your keycaps and switch puller underneath. So we'll go ahead and start with the accessories first. I'm going to go ahead and pull out some of these purple rain switches so you guys can see these. Now, reminder, these are pre-lubed. They are super smooth, linear switches, no tactile clicky clicks. But those are where the rainbows come into play. So super smooth, super nice. And again, I just love keyboard companies are starting to add a few of these just in case for quality control, and where you can always replace one just in case if something goes wrong. Next, we'll see the keycap puller. You just pull off with one side of the left, gets the caps, and the side on the right pulls out the switches themselves. And it does have the KZZI in the plastic on the middle. We'll go ahead and pull out the USB cable. It is a pretty standard but good length cable. It's not gold-plated, so it's not anything fancy, but it will get the job done, and so it will be good if you need to charge it or be able to connect it through the wired mode if, again, it does die. So we'll go ahead and get into this giant manual that you guys can see. You feel free to pause it at any given point, but it shows you how to connect to the different modes, the different Bluetooth modes, and also the different functions for Windows, Mac, Android, and all those different things to go between the different modes and the different systems. And of course, the RGB functionality and everything with that as well. But of course, you guys want to see what's inside the packaging itself. In this little sleeve, we have the K75 Lite here. Got the KZZI right there on the top. We have this nice smoky gradient side printed keycaps on this one. I absolutely love the gradient, but again, as I mentioned earlier, I love side printed. These things look great. I love it where I can't cover up the keys so I can't see the letters because it's always on the side. Go ahead and turn on the keyboard itself. See some of these RGB bleeding through. And now we do have the lights on, which will turn those off here in just a moment to see that. But we do have at the top is the 2.4. Next is Bluetooth, and then off. Now, if you want to use this in wired mode, you do have to switch it to off. Once you plug it in right here with the USB-C, you will be able to use it in wired mode. Now, you can see the other two poverty ports, as I like to call it, similar to cars. This is just a model that you don't get the fancier things, which is where the Pro and the Dazzling comes into play. But if you do get those models, you will have those ports. Now, switch to the back. We do have the double height feet. You have two different versions all built in. We do have the spot for the USB dongle on there. And then we have the little sticker here showcasing the information for you as far as the model, the battery, and all the other regulatory information that you probably don't need. So we'll go ahead and switch these lights off so you guys can see more of the RGB here. We do have the one key blinking, but that's because it's trying to connect with Bluetooth. If you are connected, that will not be blinking, by the way. And so being able to see this nice, vibrant wave of RGB going across here. And if we get this focused in, we can see the side printed letters. Absolutely fantastic. I love the way this thing looks. And again, those 5 layers of sound dampening, and of course the flex cut that is in the board itself will make for a great typing experience and a great sound, which will also have a sound test here as well later on in the video. We'll go ahead and get the lights back on here and go ahead and check out this keyboard just a little bit more. We will be going to go ahead and taking the caps off of here and looking underneath the hood a little bit. And so we'll go ahead and get a couple of these caps off, and then we'll pull one of these switches off as well. We'll be able to see those south-facing LEDs, and we will also be able to check out the foam padding underneath. But first, we'll go ahead and check out the switches themselves. We can see here that these are the Purple Rain ones that we saw earlier that we had some extras for. You can see the LEDs on the south side are coming straight through it, and they look fantastic. And again, these are pre-lubed. The actuation for them is great. The travel distance is awesome, as we talked about. And honestly, just a smooth experience all around for these. Now, we'll go ahead and pull one of these guys out here. And so underneath here, we can see a little bit of a white piece underneath that top casing as we turn this thing to the side just a little bit. And if we look inside of here, you can see that white foam, which that also helps with the dampening of the sound of the keys being pressed down and helps absorb some of that and creates a nice solid typing experience. Go ahead and put this guy back in here. Now, of course, we talked about earlier, those keycaps are MDA keycaps, and these are absolutely fantastic. You can see through, side printed, fantastic keys. We see underneath these keycaps, you can see a nice solid molding with these and a really nice clean lettering on the side printing. Sometimes you can see, if you get close enough, a little bit of where it wasn't as smooth with the cutout of these letters, but honestly, these are really, really nice and really solid. And honestly, I think some of the side printing and the putting keycaps have some of the best sound when it comes to keycaps, just because the extra layers that are involved with that. But we'll check out just how that sounds as far as how loud it is. We're going to go swapping over to the sound meter here, and we'll see just how loud it is, which stays around 65-ish decibels. It does go up into the 70s on some of the points for some of the keys, like the enter key. But honestly, you will notice that you are typing. It will be somewhat loud, but it has a fantastic sound to it. So if you're looking for the quietest keyboard, this may not be it, but it does have a very unique and special sound to it, which we'll check out a little bit later on in the video as we do a typing test with it. Now we'll go ahead and check out the weight of the keyboard, which is about 804 grams. That could vary depending on some machining and quality control portions, but somewhere around there. Now, this isn't the lightest keyboard. Next, we're going to go ahead and check out the typing test. So I'm going to go ahead and quiet out, same for the music, and let's go ahead and listen to how this sounds. All right, sounds great. Again, has its own unique, it's really premium and solid sounding. Again, does have a little bit, as we saw with the sound meter, a louder click to it, but it is absolutely a full sounding click. Now, lastly, let's go ahead and check out the KZZI software that comes with this. You can completely customize this keyboard any way, shape, or form that you want to. Love the picture that they have here, which is the exact model that we're working with, but it doesn't necessarily show the keycaps you might purchase. You can fully customize each individual key. You can have numbers, characters, modifiers, function keys, different special functions, and even down to more FN functions if you want to have multiple layers like FN1 and FN2. And then you can create different profiles if you want for different things. If you have different keycaps you may want to use with it, it's all up to you. You can create more profiles, delete, edit, export, and import. And also same as well for going into the macro list. You can do all the same things, such as adding new, deleting, copying, and importing. Plus, you can create the different macros that you would like, including with specific delays, functions, defaults, fixed, and everything across the board. And if you have a friend that has one of these, you can export it out, send them over to them, and they don't have to do all the heavy work. Now we're going to get into the fun of the keyboard. We're going to go into the lighting effects. Now, sadly, the software does not show a real-time visualization of that, so we will be overlaying a recording of the keyboard showing off the RGB here. So we're going to go into the fixed lighting first. Of course, I have it green because I love the colors. And, of course, it goes with the channel as well. Next, we'll just slowly be going down the lighting effects here, such as showing off each individual one. And some of these will require you to actually press down and do the effects, such as the reaction and the shadow disappear. Those are some that you actually have to type, and then the effect actually happens. So we'll have all of that here on screen with the video that is playing that's overlaid with it, so you guys can see that. You can also adjust the lighting brightness and also the animation speed and how long you want it to be awake for that specific effect. And lastly, the music. They do have some great music effects, which also I am aware effects is spelled wrong, which I've already let them know. They will be fixing that. So hopefully by the time you get the software, if you pick up this keyboard, that'll be fixed in an update. But that has been made aware of. This is, of course, the version 1.0 for it. This is a pre-release, so don't worry about that. So we'll go into effect number 1, and this will again show the bouncing bars here on the software, but we have to go back to the keyboard because this doesn't change when we change the effects. Now, under your own custom lights, you can do some extra options with that. You can do select all, select certain keys, because again, this is per key LED, so you can modify this as you see fit. You can have a full design going through with your RGB if you want. And of course, you have your different effects that you can, for the lighting modes you want to get into, but there's already a bunch of presets, so if you don't want to go through all that, you can just pick a preset and go about it. Now, you do have the language in here, and you have your reset keyboard data, reset factory settings, software updates, and firmware updates for the keyboard. And then lastly, you have the debounce mode, which is just better for gaming or for office mode, depending on which one you're doing, allowing it for better responsiveness. So if you don't need it to be super responsive, leave it in office mode. If you need it to be extra responsive, just throw it in gaming mode and just be done with it because, that's just better anyways. But that's the software in a nutshell. That's everything that you can do with it. This keyboard so far has been fantastic. The sound is great. I love the way it sounds, love the way it feels. The keycaps, the shapes, all that goes into a play when you're looking to get yourself a keyboard. And I don't think you'll be disappointed with this one. Unfortunately, it is a 75%er, so if you need a number pad, that's not an option with this keyboard. But they do have on their site and on Amazon, you can get a extra attachment add-on keyboard numpad that also does have a dial on it. So just note that that is an option. You can add on to it and then put that off to the side if you don't want to use it. But if you don't want to, then you might want to look at a full-size keyboard. But for 75% is what you're looking for. You do get the arrow keys and some of the function keys as well. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. And if you want those extra functions, you do have the Pro and the Dazzling version available that you can go up to. That does go up in price, as this one is around $100. You can probably get it for about $80 if it goes on sale. But the Pros and the Dazzling will be, give or take, $10 to $20 more as you go up. So do keep that in mind, but you do get fancier features across there, and you do get those ports instead of poverty ports, where these aren't actually on the 75% Lite version here. But guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys listening to me ramble here at the end. If you guys have been here, hit the like button. Appreciate it. Drop a comment if you have any questions about it. I'll be more than happy to assist and help out any way that I can. I don't have the Linux machine, as I mentioned before, but if you guys want to test it out, go for it. Let me know how it goes, because I'd love to make sure that this thing works on Linux. So let me know. And thank you to KZZI for sending over the keyboard. Absolutely fantastic. Appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be seeing some more stuff from them in the future here on this channel. And you guys, if you guys want to see some more stuff coming forward, we got some new headsets, some more keyboards coming away. We got a mixer on the docket too. So stay tuned for that if you guys want to see something that goes along with an XLR microphone. So guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you on the next one.